Hello, and welcome to Shite Talk, an Irish history podcast. A couple of quick things to get out of the way before we jump into the episode. Number one, if it sounds odd, it's because we've made a makeshift studio. We're going to improve on that and make it a full shift, a proper studio where we have like sound dampening things on the wall and camera angles. Oh, we're doing video now. So all of that's going to improve, but sorry if it sounds a bit off this week. And we had planned on releasing the video in full, but there's still a couple of things to fix, like getting lights and the cameras properly set up and all of that good stuff. So if you want to see the video of the test episode with all the jump cuts and everything else, feel free to sign up for the Patreon, because we're going to be putting it all up on that. If you're just listening on the regular feed, again, sorry if it sounds a bit odd, but we will be fixing that soon. And then we'll be doing loads of video content and stuff like that, because it's 2023 and it's mad that we haven't done any of that yet. The only other things I'd like to say is a big cheers to everyone who came out to support us up in Belfast last week. We did a live recording of the podcast with Darren Matthews, a great comic from up there. We talked about Roger Casement, Sir Roger Casement, I should say. And usually we would put that on the Patreon, but we realised we didn't get into everything we wanted to. So we're going to re-record that and release it on the regular feeds over about 2 episodes. And you can be expecting that the week after St. Patrick's Day, because surprisingly enough, we've never actually done St. Patrick. It's been 4 years plus of the podcast, and we never did like the easiest thing possible. But now we're doing video, so we can jump on all of those viral video, all of that stuff. If you want to see us do another live episode, well, we only have one booked in for the rest of the year, and it's going to be our big blowout in the Wild Duck in Dublin on the 25th of May. So if you want tickets for that, you can check it on our Linktree, our Instagram bio, or in the description of this podcast. There's that as well. And other than that, I think that's all. I did the Patreon video. Sorry for the sound. Thanks to everyone in Belfast and Darren and the Sunflower. Come see us in Dublin live. We run the Halfpenny Comedy Club if you want to see me and Kev do stand-up comedy. Follow us on the Instagram or all of that good stuff. Oh, and here's a story about Francis Tumblety. He's a character.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall.
Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish heritage to find. Joseph from Carlo and Cavan the dog. Guide you through the ways of Shite.
Hello, and listen to... This is why I didn't want video introduced.
It's gonna
be very difficult to cut
around all these things.
All the flubbed lines.
Yeah, I want to put a clock on the wall
lines,
so we can see all the bad edits jumping around.
Yeah,
like The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. We should have more Simpsons memorabilia.
We'll get there.
We were too busy with Michael Collins.
Yep.
Buckfast.
Yep. All the classics.
We got Patreon up there.
We do.
That's just to send people towards the Patreon.
You can send stuff towards us if you want us to put it up on the wall.
For the wall.
This is just phase 1.
Yeah, this is from Cahill, one of our early fans.
Yeah. It's wrong. It's not Brooding the Duck anymore, but
where is it now?
I don't think it is. I don't think it's brewed anywhere. They just have.
It's making a comeback. It's about to sponsor the longest running, most successful Irish history comedy podcast.
It was making a comeback, and then
it's definitely not the most successful. We're not effing historians. Definitely did bigger numbers than us for the.
And where are they now?
Where are they
in
now?
History?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all gone. We've outlasted everybody, like the cockroach that we are in this nuclear wasteland of podcasts. When everyone needed us during lockdown for something to do, we were there. When everyone stopped listening to podcasts because society opened back up again, we were still there.
Still there. With
when
dwindling numbers.
All the famous people left to go back to whatever it was they were doing before they started podcasting. And Shane Todd was like, you know what? I actually don't care about history. We still are here, not caring about history and talking about unsubstantiated figures from the past.
Oh no, today is very substantiated.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, transubstantiated.
The first bit of evidence you sent me a video link from Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
So you know it's good.
It was just because it was the I told you, I didn't realize not you shouldn't watch it up until I tell you the story. But it's just that when he does sell something at the end of it, he goes from 6 to 725, like 7,250, and he's like 7,200. Just like 50 quid.
50 quid.
Just,
that's how he gets to where he is.
you don't get rich by throwing away 50 quid.
I didn't watch the video, but does he say that he has a friend who's an expert in?
Not as classic as you, and they don't have like the intro section where it's
once
like,
I saw that hat, I knew I had to have it.
It's the it's one of those ones where you know that the customer is like very scripted because he keeps saying the same things like in the same paragraph.
Okay,
that he's like been told you need to say, where else are you going to find one like this? But he'll say it like 2 times in the same sentence.
Yeah, I only watched as far as when he's like, in fairness, we do it as well, which again will be harder to do with the camera. But when you don't know something and you look it up, and then the edit just goes, yeah, I think it was. Yeah. And he walks up to him and he's just like, yeah, I know a bit about Tumblety. Well, I won't ruin for the show, but he's just like, you don't fucking know that. You know, maybe he doesn't know stuff at this point. He's been doing it years. Mm-hmm. Maybe much like this show, he's accidentally picked up a bit of knowledge about random artifacts.
But well, that's true. He probably know more about history than us, definitely.
Yeah.
He's good chance he knows more about Irish history.
Let's get him on the show. What's his name?
Then we can be his buddies, who's like Irish history buddies.
Yeah, I got two guys that know.
That's probably fake. Ball of shite.
Yeah.
How much is this worth, man?
Fuck all, man.
Not worth the hair off me, Mickey.
Yeah. Send it over to us.
You're not invited back for a second episode.
Do you ever see American Gun?
No, but that sounds great.
It's amazing. It's the same sort of shop, premise reality TV show thing, but they come in and they'd just ask for a gun. That's the whole show. And I think we got 2 seasons out of it, and then I don't know if they ever came back for a third. But fuck, it was amazing.
I was a big fan of hillbilly hand fishing.
That sounds great.
It's exactly what it says on the tin.
Well, there's an episode of American Gun where the guy comes in and he's like, I'd like a special gun to mount and they're always just like, yeah, these are just for like, you know, these are just for display, not for use. We'll mount a shotgun onto your motorbike. And it's definitely not roadworthy, but between myself and yourself, no one's looking. But he went up and he was like,
it's the head shop of garages.
Yeah, this is it's just plant food. Now, if you smoke this plant food, but he went in and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm a New York firefighter and I just like to get a mounted gun to commemorate some of my buddies. And then the music cuts and he's like, a New York firefighter? Yes, sir. Did you have? Were you serving? Yes, sir, I was. September 11, 2001. And they're just like, an eagle flies through the shop and he's like, no, free of charge for you. And he makes him up a fucking mounted shotgun for the front of his motorbike for his 9/11 buddies.
By the way, what were you doing that day? I was working dispatch on the phone.
Yeah.
But I've got a story for you.
All about Francis Tumblety.
Yes. The life of I didn't learn it enough to just tell you, so I'm going to be reading it off of the thing.
You always are. Don't lie to them.
They don't know this.
Yeah.
What if we change?
Oh, I guess we'll just be doing that every week now.
Oh no. But at some point, the last live episode we did in Belfast, you kind of had it memorized, and then I got jealous, so I was like, I'm going to try and memorize and write the script, and then I just didn't.
Yeah.
So the life of Francis Tumblety is one shrouded in mystery. It seems to have been so since his birth. While sources aren't sure where he was born, we can go with the rough year of around 1833.
Yeah.
But as for his birthplace, that's a bit more hazy. Many reports say Dublin or near Dublin.
Yep.
But you know where's not near Dublin?
Cork.
Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, it appears that none of that's true.
Well, he's not born here at all.
He's not born in Canada. He is born here, but not Dublin. I guess it's... I imagine it's historians over in America that were like, it's somewhere near Dublin because he's a native of Cavan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you do know where he is.
Yeah,
all right.
Born to James and Margaret, who left Ireland for Rochester, New York, when Francis was a wee lad, or early teens maybe, bringing with Francis his 10 siblings, of which Francis was the youngest.
That's good. I want to get a little buzzer counter up here for I want to set a timer for when you start the story to see how long it takes you until you've stopped like you've clearly stopped writing it.
Now.
Yeah. And then also, just get light to go for what he's born here. Not much is known about his early life, and then he goes to America.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
America, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to start out with that and then slowly fade into.
He left when he was a wee lad, or somewhere between 2 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 13.
Okay.
Or 12, something.
Right bang in the middle.
Right. But by the time he was 17, he had the dream job any Irish immigrant could want. Selling porno books along the Erie Canal, upstate New York. Upstate New York, upskirt photos. A dirty, awkward, ignorant, uncared for, good-for-nothing boy, utterly devoid of education.
But he does a hell of a bargain on Jugs magazine.
But that's, you know who that quote is from?
I don't know.
Acquaintances and neighbours.
Oh, yeah. They all got together to say that.
Collectively.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't say friends, because that's...
Yeah. Well, maybe they were friends beforehand and that bumped them down to acquaintances.
But even then, that's a harsh thing to say about an acquaintance.
Yeah. Low down, no good for nothing.
Boy.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But...
He stiffed me on one of those porno magazines. And he ripped me off as well.
Now we finally have the video.
Of all the pointing.
All the pointing we do.
Oh, great.
Around this time, he gets a job for Dr. Lispenard at his hospital.
Dr. Lispenard does seem like it's a carry-on film now. He's
Yeah,
selling pornos.
Oh, just wait.
All right.
He's selling something better. I think it's not a hospital, so it's like a drug store, apothecary, fake
place.
Yeah.
Right.
But Francis works there as a cleaner, doing odd jobs and bits and pieces as well.
Yeah.
But I found from this is from the Rochester Democrat and Republican. I don't know if that's separate papers printing the same thing or they just got together.
In this day and age, unimaginable.
At a split.
Yeah.
But Dr. Lispenard carried on.
Yeah.
Dr. Lispenard carried on a medical business of a disreputable kind.
Okay.
Yeah. So just not
a disreputable medical business.
Yeah. Doesn't say what, but I'll tell you what. Still 17, Francis leaves home not long before his father's passing. He dies in 1850.
Okay.
Right. So I think it's a year after Francis left. So he heads on to make his own business in Detroit, Michigan.
Right.
Where he sets up a shop as an Indian herb doctor, selling patented medicines, cure-alls, and get-fixed quick juice.
All right. Is he pretending to be Indian? And which Indian? Native American or original?
Oh,
because one of them is, I mean, they're both equally disrespectful and bad.
No, we're allowed to say we're allowed to say Indian.
No, but if he's dressing up and pretended to be one.
Oh yeah. Other. Oh, we'll get into his dress later on. I don't think he's a man who probably could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sharp dresser, but not. I haven't seen anything about the Indian stuff yet.
Right.
He doesn't have a headdress or anything on.
Yeah.
But Tumblety's Pimple Destroyer was one of his big ones, and then also Dr. Morse's Indian Root Pills. Dr.
Morse's.
Yeah, that's just that was everywhere at the time. I had to look into that, and that was the number one drug back in the day. It was a cure-all for everything. It was a
cure-all that did everything. You've heard of many cure-alls, but this one does it all.
But purified the blood and cure rheumatism, indigestion, constipation, kidney and liver disorders, headaches, pimples, boils, and even female ailments like growing past 30 without a husband. But this all seems to have gone pretty well for Francis. As by 1854, he's well known in the area for his work, as well as being an eccentric, mad Irish quack doctor who dresses up as a military man and has a giant mustache.
I love it so far.
Now that's him.
That's him.
I'll put something up on the screen during this.
That's amazing. I'd buy anything off that man.
But then of the drawings of him, people are like,
Jesus Christ. Who drew that?
Maybe him. No,
maybe him.
Who knows?
He's more mustache than man.
At that stage, yeah. And, like you'd expect. But then they'd keep the mustache and not have the hat, because he's known for hats, like in Pawn Stars.
Oh,
not the one in the other photo there, but
it looks like a bit of a German military hat. Before Germany.
Before they became the bad guys.
Back when it was fashionable.
His name, face, and pills were all over the newspapers, and he even at the time offered maybe one of the first ever mail delivery service systems for drugs.
He was in Running Men as well.
Yes, but we'll get into that later on.
Sweet.
Which I keep. But there's not much I could find out about why he left Detroit. But in 1857, he's up in Canada. He sets up shop in Montreal, where he soon becomes a man about town.
Yeah.
Success and fame are never too far away from Francis, and within the year, he's already been asked to run for politics. Or in
Okay.
local elections, I guess.
Yeah.
Not for politics.
Just run. Yeah. You've gotten rid of all the pimples in town. How about now you clean up the crime? But I'm still. That's great that he was just doing mail order, sending out pills to people.
Yeah, and there's probably nothing wrong with it because the pills, fake as shite.
Fake
so
as
you
shite.
can't get in trouble.
Yeah. I sent off.
Or maybe that is that. You could get in trouble for that, of sending out basically placebos. But sure, who'd even know?
I sent off all of our money to that Tumblety fella. But in 5 to 6 weeks, we'll get a wet envelope full of all the unguents that'll get rid of all our ailments.
Or make you worse.
Or make me, yeah.
Which is actually kind of what happened. I should say that when he doesn't run for a local election.
No.
But what he does do is take out a huge spread in the paper explaining why he's not running for election, which makes me think he was never asked to do it at all, and he's just that's
Now I'm addressing all the rumors you've been hearing about how I'm due to run for election, but I'm just here to say I won't because it's beneath me.
yeah, and it probably is. He's a rich man.
Okay.
He doesn't need politics.
Yeah.
Also, that they still go hand in hand, but nevertheless, his medicines seem to be a hit up there in Canada. They're all herbal remedies, natural ingredients, to cure what ails you. Good, clean, honest Irish ingredients like Irish moss from the old country. Also heavily laced with mercury and arsenic. Cleans you out.
Yeah, but those are good back then.
Yeah, well, I suppose it cleans the blood.
Yeah, just get everything. He's just giving them laxatives.
Well, everyone thinks at the time, like, all badness
Blood,
comes from bad
bad.
blood.
Yeah.
Broken leg, bad blood.
Too much blood.
Too much blood. But there's plenty of accounts of people feeling worse for taking his supplements because of all the mercury.
Right.
Yeah. And a few deaths are linked to him.
That's when you want to go. You want to get over the edge so that anyone who complains, it either does nothing to you or kills you.
Or it kills you.
Yeah, because you don't want anyone left around.
But then,
No bad reviews if there's no...
That's the thing. You're looking. That's a great Google review. That's a great Google ads. You're like, only 5 stars because everyone else
dead.
couldn't get to it.
Yeah, 5 stars are dead.
I wish we should start doing that for the club.
Yeah?
Just anyone who leaves a bad review, just murder them.
Yeah. Just be like, before you leave a review, just come and voice your opinions to us and we'll deal with it in a timely fashion.
Down this dark
Murder.
alley, just out here. What's that sound? Oh, that's the sound of the future. You being shot. But, where did I go to? I assume there's going to be a lot of that.
Just the stings.
I was saying there's a few deaths that are linked to him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's probably why he's left Detroit for Montreal. New country, can't be traced. Sure, who would even know him? The big Irish quack doctor with the giant mustache.
Yeah, and
selling dick pills.
And gonna run over the country. Start afresh. I better put a 2-page spread of my face in the local paper to let everyone know I'm not running for politics, because that'd give me too much exposure while I'm trying to lay low. Put that all in the headline.
But yeah, so he's not in Montreal for the long haul either, because putting mercury in your medicine does eventually come back to hurt you. Kills some idiots who are taking a quack doctor's medicines. But it's not that
just for boners.
But it's not that stops him.
Okay.
It's been caught red-handed selling a well-known prostitute a bottle of pills and some liquid that, if you were to combine them, they'd say would be a great remedy for an unwanted pregnancy.
Oh. Okay. Well, that was a journey of a sentence. I thought he was selling well-known prostitutes.
Yeah.
He's selling stuff to them.
Selling stuff to
abortion remedies.
Yes.
Okay. Stung, just given the old morning after pill.
Yeah. But I think that goes badly. And I don't know if she dies from it, but that might happen later on again.
Yeah.
But they don't like that, so he decides...
They don't like that in 1850s or 60s French Montreal.
Yes.
I would have thought that'd be like passed out like Tic Tacs.
No, well, maybe she did get very sick from it, or bad things happened to her, and they're just...
Maybe that's what they're annoyed about, that this well-known prostitute's gotten sick.
She's gotten sick, she's not around. The boys, they're angsty now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was a thing...
That could have been any one of our sons. Could have been a daughter as well. You know what? Maybe he's not so bad.
But
did I ever tell you the story of my brother? He works in a pharmacy, an unnamed one, because I don't remember the name of it right now. But the morning after pill, apparently this isn't true anymore if you're under 25. I think they've changed it recently, but not that long ago, you needed to go in and have a consultation to get the pill.
Mm.
And the young woman went in to get it one day, and you have to go into a private room and have some sort of ask a few questions.
Don't tell me the doctor asked for her number.
He already gets the number. GDPR, it's already on the form. If you take a photo, they can't do anything. But she was on her phone, so you're sitting in this booth and you got asked a series of set questions to get the access to the pill to flush the old baby juice out. And she was typing away on her phone and whatever, and he was like, millennials. And then after a while, she held the phone up to him, and she'd been on a call the whole time, a video call, and she held the phone up to him to show the fella that she'd slept with, who was still in the bed, and he'd been like, "Show me the pharmacist to prove that you're doing it."
What?
He said he was still in bed, like half naked, and he'd sent her down by herself to get the morning after pill, and was like, video call me from there to prove. And she was like, "Would you tell him that you're a pharmacist?"
Christ.
What?
I see what's happened.
Level.
I see what happened now. You've hired an actor.
Yeah. God, yeah, I'm gonna need to see. Just give me a picture of your face, and I'll go search IMDb for any local theater stuff. The level of fucking the balls.
I remember a lad in college. He had sex with a girl, as college students often do.
In Carlo.
In Dublin, he had to get out for that.
Sure,
yeah. He was a few years away before they'd let you do it in Carlo.
Yeah,
he had to get married first. But
if we let men fuck women, then who will fuck the goats?
But he told us one day that he was like, fuck, I had to send her down to get the pill this morning because last night we were riding and I tried not to, but I ended up coming inside of her. And I was like, man, what are you thinking? You should have been wearing a condom. He was like, oh no, I was.
Oh yeah.
You just still
Yeah.
that's and then yeah. See?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay.
They don't do sex education in Carlo. It's his first year in college. He's up in the big city.
No, I was more thinking this. I mean, he just tries not to come all the time.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Sting. It's tantric.
Yeah, yeah. And where did she? Yeah, I guess you can't get the pill in Carlo either.
Oh, I don't know. She wasn't from there.
Probably.
Yeah, she was doing him a favor, teaching this young Carlo lad the ways.
Yeah, yeah.
But this was a tough thing to prove in court that Carlo man had sex.
Yeah.
But Tumblety, so this whole prostitution business with the abortion, that's a tough thing to prove in court. So he manages to get away without trial, and he's decided then with this newfound freedom to get out of town, moving to East St. John. Where not long after arriving, he'd be in the news again, this time because a man called James Portmore died using his medicines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Tumblety decided that, he's after leaving up in sticks the last two times. This is the time now to stand your ground. He goes to the coroner's inquest of Portmore's death.
This is the last place you want to be going to.
And he questions Portmore's widow about her involvement in the death.
Yes.
That's the time. Get her when she's flustered.
Yeah, double down. Yeah, it's the perfect. Yeah, I love when people factor that into stuff. It's like a widow wouldn't grieve that much or that little. Like unless you hit the perfect amount of perceived grief, people call you into question.
Yeah, it's
say if you're in shock because a loved one died, that's not
normal.
She seemed very together for someone who's supposedly lost a loved one. Or if you're complete wailing and falling on the ground and stuff, she's fucking call the Oscars,
Well, guilty people as well, who are in for, they say you're guilty if you eat food when you're in for questioning.
Yeah, would a guilty man do X, Y, and Z? It's I've studied trauma for years by watching daytime television shows. So I know exactly how a widow should act.
Just a load of probably guilty people who don't want to eat prison food. They're just this is actually this is a bit, I'm all right.
Or if you're going through a shocking traumatic event, your brain might shut down a little bit and you just go on some weird autopilot.
Yeah, it'd be a classic way to to catch lads out of just bringing delicious food.
Yeah,
if you're what have I been brought in for? No, I've nothing to do with that. It was what was this? Some lobster for you.
What about a lobster? And then you say you did it. Don't worry about what happens for the next 7 to 10 years. I'm sure there'll be a couple of fucking lobsters there.
If you admit to a certain thing, you'll get one more of these meals.
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah.
That's good. So why he just goes up and starts hassling the wife?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
That-
Portmore, more like Port No More. He's dead now.
So yeah, he skedaddles across the border to Calais, Maine, with the verdict of manslaughter hanging over his head in Canada.
Right. Okay.
It's right beside.
So he's just going round in a circle again.
But this is right beside Maine's, like a
because he's gone. Yeah, Detroit, Montreal,
which is
I don't know where
further.
East St. John is.
It's
and
further.
down to Maine.
It's over east.
Yeah.
So it's basically if you commit a crime in Dundalk, you go to Newry or vice versa. Not that that's would have.
No. If you commit a crime in Dundalk, you go to politics.
But he makes his way down through Canada. Yeah, the manslaughter charge is hanging over him in Canada.
Yeah.
So he gets over to Calais, down to Boston, before he's linked to another death. So he keeps on the move, coast to coast, lots of time.
It sounds like he just got off the bus and stabbed a man. It's like,
he should. Where's his wife? She did it.
She did it. Is this good for I put the Rambler this time? 7 stops in 7 days.
But I think now it's time to go to. He's doing a lot of he goes to New York, Boston, California, back and forth. But he spends a lot of time in the
That's
flight.
a big swing because he's basically been committing crimes in the
all over the
not a
shop.
small area, but
Yeah.
the sort of northeast.
Yeah, but that's if you commit a crime like in New York, best place to go, other side of the continent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he does also spend a lot of time in the middle, in the flyover states, as they were called at the time, the drive-through states.
The drive-through states.
Yeah, it's been nearly 10 years now since he'd left New York.
Yeah.
So he goes back, kind of the big man. He's a big mustache, fake military uniform. Oh, by this stage, he started to dress in fake military garb.
Oh, okay. But what is this? The 1860s.
In and around, yeah, about that.
When is the American Civil War?
Oh, it's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if he's walking around in fake military. Like, what exactly is he?
That is exactly what he's doing.
Okay. Yeah. But what war is he thinking he's in?
He's
the Civil War.
Yeah, and it doesn't really say what side he was. I assume he's on the Union side.
Yeah.
Which is the good guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're on camera. You're the big man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every other time he says that, he's crossed his fingers.
Crossing it like a Confederate flag.
Yeah.
I'm from Cork. But it has been... Yeah, so he's at the fake military uniform, chest full of medals.
Nice.
And a pocket full of dick pills. But he shoots to the top of the social scene. Or does...
Yeah, with a fucking resume like that, how would he not?
But he does... by this stage now, he's telling people that he's friends with Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
And with being the start of the U.S. Civil War, pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And he's I think now he's also down in Washington. He's travelled down there because that's where all the action is. But he's taking it up a notch as well because he had been doing this military uniform thing for a while. Now he's riding around on a big white horse.
Okay.
Dressed up. I showed you how he's dressed.
Yeah.
Military uniform, fake medals, big horse, 2 greyhounds walking either side of him.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, just alongside a big stallion.
Yeah.
And then when he's down in Washington, there's an account of
That's like the horse has horses. You know what I mean?
Well, he had the friends.
Yeah.
It's the lackeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then that's the pyramid scheme. He's
in the top.
How cool must the horse be if he has 2 little lackeys? And just how cool must the man be if he has the horse?
But the greyhounds would be like near the size of a small horse. Greyhounds are big.
A Shetland pony, maybe.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of Irish wolfhounds.
Yeah, and also just remember how big horses are.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But at one stage, so he's doing this all-male dinner.
Yeah.
And there's an account from it.
All-male dinner?
An all-male dinner.
What, in the 1860s? A business event with only men?
He's gone full Mike Pence on it.
That's shocking.
Can I do the accent? Well, yeah, because it's... Yeah. Some were asked why he had not invited some women to his dinner. His face instantly became as black as a thundercloud. He had a pack of cards in his hand, but he laid them down and said almost savagely, "No, Colonel, I don't know any such cattle. And if I did, I would, as your friend, sooner give you a dose of quick poison than take you into such danger." I don't know why I did his accent in the...
Yeah.
And also it's Washington, it's not the South.
No.
But
he doesn't spend any time in the South.
Really. No, but it's a fun accent to do.
It is a fun accent to do. But surely he'd be more like Boston, Canadian, French, Irish.
Cavan.
What that is.
Yeah.
Maine.
No, Colonel, I don't know how any such cattle.
Hey, so what did he said He was like,
He's like, why aren't there any women here? He's like,
why are there no women at this party? He's like, I don't know any cows.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And if I did,
He is from Cavan.
I'd sooner poison you.
Yeah.
Or by which he meant, I'll just give you my medicine.
Oh.
But he broke into a homily.
Well, now, it seems to me this would have been pertinent information before we took some of these dick pills. It's foghorn, leghorn, foghorn, third leghorn, whatever. Anyway, so you give them all a load of Viagra and then told them there's no women at the party. What sort of a fucking establishment are you running here at Tumblety?
Well, that's it says he breaks into a homily on the sin and folly of dissipation, fiercely denounced all women and especially fallen women, prostitutes.
Yeah.
In his study, tiers of shelves with glass jars and cases, some round, others square, filled with all sorts of anatomical specimens. The doctor placed on a table a dozen or more jars containing, as he said, the uteri of every class of woman. Nearly a half of one of these cases was occupied exclusively with these specimens.
Okay.
When he was
Jesus
asked why he hated women, he said that when he was quite a young man, he fell desperately in love with a pretty girl, rather his senior, who promised to reciprocate his affection. After a brief courtship, he married her. The honeymoon, though, was not over when he'd noticed a disposition on her part to flirt with other men. He remonstrated. She kissed him, called him a dear, jealous fool, and he believed her. That was his first mistake right there. Yeah, getting married. Happening one day to pass in a cab through the worst part of town, he saw his wife and a man enter a gloomy-looking house. Then he learned that before her marriage, his wife had been an inmate of that and many similar houses. Then he gave up on all womenkind.
A knocking shop.
Yes.
So he just married some woman that he met for 2 minutes, and then it turned out that she was a prostitute.
Older lady. That's the
And
that's how they get you.
What's he doing getting cabs through the... See, I was on my way to a whorehouse when who should I see walk in but my wife? Shocking.
Cab, Central Asset Bureau. That's when you get divorced.
Yeah. Okay, so he swore off all women.
Yeah, from there, yeah. So, and it's also said that he was charged with indecency in every major town or city he ever went to, as homosexuality was a crime at the time. But by God, if it didn't feel right.
What?
Yeah, all over.
That's what he's been doing.
That's what he's been up to. And he's now in St. Louis. He gets arrested, this time for wearing fake military medals.
Right, yeah, it's probably
They
stolen valor.
Yeah, they didn't like this at all. It was actually the U.S. Secretary of War put a warrant out to go get him.
Okay.
But he's...
I think there's not a war on.
But he's convinced that this is the work of rival medicine men trying to ruin his good name and business. Especially
I got these here medals for medicine and killing women.
Gets caught in a small Missouri town not long after the last time he was caught, charged with the exact same thing.
So he is gay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about the medals now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I called him again for that. But well, that's new. Yeah.
You're just still hung up, and I feel like we're going to get to the end of this story, and you're going to be like, "So he was gay."
Why in
1850?
They arrested him for being a homosexual. That's fair. Why did they do that?
That's not nice at all.
No.
Boo.
No. Why did they try and pin them on that?
But it said that along with the fake medals, and impersonating the military man.
These are just bottle caps, sir.
But the army also wanted to get him for another couple of things, such as selling porn books to soldiers.
Yeah.
Just to prove those pills work.
yeah.
But no, the big one was forging discharge papers so lads could get out of the war.
That seems a bigger
discharge?
One.
That's something these pills could fix.
Yeah. I can either get rid of it or give you a lot of it. I don't really know. It's a 50-50 shot here. He kept selling me porno mags, and I flicked, but I swear, so the women did not appear.
He writes the kidnapping of Dr. Tumblety as a way to clear his name and re-establish his reputation.
He writes the book about himself being kidnapped.
Now, they say it's a book, biography, or whatever.
Yeah.
I also see a lot of it's called a pamphlet.
Right.
So it might just be a short story, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he writes that as a way to clear his name, re-establish his reputation as a fine, honourable medicine man. But the writings are meant to be what you'd expect of an unhinged, paranoia-filled, the ramblings of a witch doctor from Cavan.
The man with a bunch of uteruses in jars.
Exactly, yeah. So this has had the opposite effect on his reputation.
Oh, no.
And it takes another hit in 1865 when Abe Lincoln gets shot by Francis Tumblety. They bring him in as a suspect because he's meant to be friends with one of John Wilkes Booth's accomplices, David Herald.
Okay.
And then that might have been true.
He was a Red Herald.
But the Evening.
The Evening Herald.
But it might have been true that he was friends with him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually him they were looking for. He was traveling under a pseudonym called Dr.
John Wilkes Booth.
There was a man called
he was a
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
I think it was like a Dr. Blackburn. Now,
Okay.
he was wanted for having a plan, which I think he actually did do, of sending a bunch of yellow fever to the north as a way to virally attack the Union.
Interesting.
So he'd pick that man he didn't pick him, but he used the same name as him, so he was brought in on that.
How did he send it? Just a box of yellow fever.
Just a big old box of yellow fever.
Nice. It's just fucking number one Union Army post haste. Fragile.
But it's around this time, the late 1860s, that he decided.
That's crazy. So sorry, he was involved. He was pulled in for the.
He's pulled in for the murder of Abe Lincoln. I mean, in fairness, he had said that he was mates with
He
Lincoln.
was friends with him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was also he might have been friends with David Herald.
Yeah.
And might have known the lads. So, but then he was brought in because he had the alias Blackburn.
Else.
So yeah. So it's all, but it's not him, or maybe
Maybe it was.
It's around this time though, at the 1860s,
Yeah.
that he's decided one too many run-ins with the law, set sail for Europe, as it was known then.
So not one too many run-ins with the law. He's not like turning away his life of crime. He's just going back to Europe.
Go back to
Okay.
Oh, sorry, one too many run-ins with the law in North America.
Sure.
Time to get back.
Yeah.
Back to Europe. But while in England, he claims to have met Charles Dickens.
Oh, England. I thought you said he was heading back to Europe. I'm trying to remember though the John Wilkes Booth thing, isn't there, or Booth thing? Isn't there a weird thing where like he shot Lincoln, allegedly, if you believe that sort of shit, and then because he was an actor, like a famous actor, and his brother, isn't there something in connection with their kids? Like one of them saved Lincoln's kid, saved Wilkes's kid from a train.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
No, I don't know.
Did it happen?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I was thinking they were going to bring in Tumblety, and then right before he gets shot, he says he's framed. I'm a Paddy.
I'm a Paddy. Yeah.
It's
all right. So he's gone back to England.
He's gone to England now. Says he's met Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
When he was in Berlin, he met the King William of Germany.
Okay.
While in France, he was a doctor for Napoleon III, the big Napoleon's nephew. We were talking about him the other week and something else.
Yeah, he comes up a lot. Napoleon's a big name.
It is, in fairness. And
almost 12 letters.
Nowhere near. Like, not even close.
Whatever.
Like, even if you added the third.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
Surely there's it's
8.
getting up there. 8. Most of the way there.
And that was the Secretary of War. He can shove it now. Right? That lad who was given out about him having fake medals.
Yeah.
Because this work on Napoleon III gets Francis Tumblety.
Yeah.
The Legion of Honor, France's highest military award.
No way.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
If you think that's bollocks, the famous writer Hal Caine, he was a big writer at the time. He's very famous. We
What
just
did he
don't know him. Books that Hitchcock made films on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh, I know, yeah. So he was just selling. Francis went to England and he was like, he'd met Caine. He was selling these drugs that are like, these are from the Native Americans, or that is the Indian. Yeah. But by this stage, Tumblety in his 40s, mid-40s, Caine just 21. The two strike up a friendship of a sexual nature. Wouldn't last long. Should have been taking more of those pills.
There you go. This is the magic that you're missing out on.
So usually you have to edit around.
You got to race for one of us to get this obvious joke.
But this wouldn't last for too long, as a man called Edward Hanratty swallowed some of Tumblety's cure, don't make a joke, and shortly died thereafter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Tumblety was sued for £200 because he lied about his medicine and credentials. He's taken out many ads with fake testimonials, put them in the papers when he gets to Liverpool.
Yeah.
So all this backfires fairly spectacularly, leading to Tumblety standing his ground and taking on all comers to question and clear his name. He flees London and he asks Hal Caine to write a new biography.
Okay, about him.
Yeah, the Passages from the Life of Dr. Francis Tumblety. It was printed in March 1875. There has seemed to be a lot of issues around making the biography. Just like, he's down in London because he can't be up in Liverpool because he's wanted up there.
Sure.
So he keeps sending messages and can't really work at the time because everyone's like, you're wanted for murder.
So you murdered a man in Liverpool and then fled to London. And
Yes.
It's just outside the jurisdiction.
Just as 18...
It's a London thing.
whatever.
Yeah.
Not gonna. It's a big city.
Fair enough.
But bad luck. What did I say? Bad luck. Well, he's in a different city. You can't find him. There might be money issues, which probably shouldn't happen. He is a very wealthy man.
Okay.
So they should, and I believe that part of it. Everything else is
questionable.
Yeah, but he definitely has money because snake oil salesman.
Sure.
Rich, but
now you're telling me he's in London.
and he wants 10,000 of these 10,000 copies printed.
Okay.
To be sent around, and he wants all these testimonies from all the famous people he's met and been a doctor to. He wants that to be put into this to like really clear his name. And there's an issue with that because how do you...
No. What? Napoleon's not returning my calls. You get his secretary on the fucking line now.
No, see, he wouldn't have had that issue because it would have been tough at the time for Hal Cain to get in touch with all of these people.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Tumblety provided all of the testimonies himself.
That's handy.
Yeah, he was just in touch with them,
That's
so they sent him on
convenient.
all the bits and pieces that he'd need. So it doesn't... Cain wasn't too impressed with Tumblety. He said he went down to him in London once.
You were calling the wrong number for Napoleon. He's on 4. No, he's changed phones. He's on 23 now. I'll get him. I've got the right line here.
Yeah, the Cain at this stage is pretty over it.
Yeah.
And he's not... Tumblety keeps asking him to come down to London and he doesn't really want to. Tumblety asks him, go around the Liverpool pharmacies and ask, does anyone want my pills?
Okay.
I'll make him down here. I'll send him back up. And you're like, it is the same thing that you're wanted for murder for.
Yeah.
But he's like, we'll split the profits.
All right, 60-40 in your favor.
I think, Cain declines to go down to London, kind of stops contact with him. Tumblety does invite him over to America at one point. He says, come on over here.
Yeah, I know you don't want to come to London, but what about America?
But New London.
The new world from 100 years ago.
But by this time, Tumblety, he'd had enough of England. Thought, why not give it another go in America? The heat's probably died down. Also in Liverpool, a man called Alfred Thomas Heap was hanged for his role in a death surrounding an abortion. And for some reason, Tumblety went pretty silent and left. Yeah. He actually spent some time in Birmingham, where his letters to Cain would now be a bit more aggressive, and he was asking the young writer to send him money. So there must have been some money issues at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's using a lot of aliases, and he's not like, even if he's made money before, how's he carrying it around with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the afterlife as well as going from America to England. Can't take it with you.
Can't take it with you, no.
But for many men, this would be a dagger in the heart. Cain rejected him, but Tumblety was able to get over it over the heartbreak thanks to a seeming mania for the company of young men and grown-up youths.
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke about that. I was like, this is probably where it's going. But he get over heartbreak by just taking the age-old combination of dick pills and young fucks.
Yes. He spends the next few years causing a ruckus through the States. He's caught pickpocketing in the heavily Irish town of New Orleans.
He's dropped down now. Pickpocketing.
No, he was just grabbing stuff in...
Come on, he's better than that.
Not if he doesn't have the money, though.
Yeah, I suppose you got to start somewhere.
And
he shot Abe Lincoln a few hours ago. Now
you can't get a job after that.
But now he's pickpocketing. I don't know.
He doesn't have a last employer to call.
Yeah.
The
conditions of his J1 are very strict. No political assassinations. Low-level crime only.
But he got involved in a court case when he was there, where he seemingly tried to say a lady called Mrs. Lyons stole $1,000 from him.
Okay.
But
can we honestly believe anything she says, Your Honor? Mrs. Lyons.
Exhibit A.
Am I the only one who's seeing this?
Gender.
She's a woman.
Have I not showed you the uteri? This section is fairly blank. There's not a whole lot around him. He seems to be going around doing bits and pieces until he returns to England in 1888. Apart from, I'm not sure what's in this time. Yeah, it's kind of blank, but he is a fan of Charles Stewart Parnell. helping to fund his home rule campaign. And he also stayed at the hotel in New York. He lived there for a while, managed by Jeremiah O'Donovan Rossa. So he was a suspected Fenian IRB member over in the States.
You know what? I always liked them.
I believed everything he's ever said.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 charges of gross indecency and indecent assault with force and arms against 4 men, which was only a few months after his return to Liverpool. He landed in July, and this is formally charged with all of this in November. He was out on bail of 36,000 in modern money.
Jeez. Oh, modern. Okay.
Yeah, but the next charge is the one that had put him in the history books.
Yeah.
Also, that like gross indecency and indecent assault with force and arms against 4 men.
Yeah.
That's having sex with men.
Yeah.
That's just
So like just arms.
just
Yeah.
just flowery language. They couldn't just say, because it was illegal, but they just didn't like what would like don't put it in people's heads.
Assault and battery.
But as they just don't want to put it in people's heads that they're like,
They
this is an
want-
option. Just don't tell them.
Put it in their heads and other places.
But on November 12th, he was charged on suspicion of committing the Whitechapel murders, or better known as Jack the Ripper.
Damn.
Yeah, he was bailed out 4 days later on the 16th. He had a hearing on the 20th with a trial set for December 10th. At the time, he'd been living in Whitechapel at the time of the murders, had a distaste for women, wasn't squeamish about blood or surgery and all of that. With all of these charges over his head now, at least one of which appeared to be true.
Yeah.
He assumes the alias Frank Townsend and flees to France, where William Melville from the James Bond episode would be tasked with keeping track of him, but did so unsuccessfully. He jumps on a boat back to New York, where it said that Scotland Yard officials did follow him over there. That's in the history books. They definitely did. Now, they didn't specifically name like him as the reason they were heading over, but they did say it was a Jack the Ripper suspect that they followed over shortly after he had fled.
Damn.
So the New York City's chief inspector of the police had been surveilling Francis once he'd got back, and when they found out he was living and all of that, but nobody could do anything to him because his crimes in England weren't extraditable.
What about those crimes in America?
Yeah, but then he just stayed in America, but England wanted him back to like for the Jack the Ripper thing.
Surely they could just get him on another case.
The Americans could get him.
Yeah, but like in the Oscars where, when time passes, they realize that they should have given someone Oscar for different, and they should have get make up one later on.
Oh, Pacino, Scent of a Woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they can't arrest him on the Jack the Ripper thing, but they're like, well, what about all the open murder cases here in the States?
Nah.
Get you in. No.
And plus a lot of that was Canada too.
So he's in the right. He's got motive, method, and madness.
Yes. His name and faces. Yeah. I suppose
He's got many names.
Shaved the mustache all of a sudden. New man. But yeah, so there's probably drawings or photos of him in the papers in New York at the time, and he's been associated with the Whitechapel murders over there. Like they're mentioning that, like when Larry Murphy was traveling around.
Yeah.
Yeah, just after he'd got out, and it was just like newspaper like headlines every nonstop. There he is having a croissant or whatever. That's a big deal in New York.
It's not a croissant; it's just his mustache.
But he doesn't really appear in any of the newspapers back in England. So like the
super injunction,
but like the public and the papers in America know all about it, but very little said in England, and they and everyone like in New York knows his whereabouts.
Okay.
But they couldn't do anything about it. He's under constant surveillance. But so he does flee, wait for the heat to die down.
Yeah. I can't imagine that they'll be talking about these Jack the Ripper murders much longer. I need to just keep the head low for a week, 3 tops.
Well, he does.
Okay.
He does. No, he keeps the head down. This time by publishing another biography called Dr. Francis.
If I did it.
Dr. Francis Tumblety.
The story of the white Bronco through London. His white horse. Yeah. He's called the juice. Yeah, he's a fucking juice salesman.
That's true. Just called the juice.
What a
Christ. We don't do enough OJ references.
No.
We can get the Bronco up.
Who's OJ?
Francis. Dr. Francis Tumblety. Sketch of the life of the gifted, eccentric, and world-famous physician.
Nice.
That gets published, in which he talked himself up a bit more and played down the murder rumors.
Wait, was that the picture you showed me earlier on? Was that the sketch?
Probably from that
one. A book with that shitty picture in it.
How could a man do such a...
Look at his eyes. Innocent.
But here's a poem he wrote
Nice.
in it. Because if you're trying to clear your name,
Poetry.
that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Among the lonesome vices of the age, the most revolting to the saint and sage is that of slandering an honest name and robbing virtue of her spotless fame. The flying rumours gathered as they rolled, scared any tale was sooner heard than told. And all who told it added something new, and all who heard it made enlargements too. In every ear it spread, on every tongue it grew. I got he changed the rhyming scheme at the end, and I messed that up. I was doing it like it was a Christmas poem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it again.
No.
Unless I get to do it in a voice.
You could do any number of voices, but so what I see is like I've seen a lot of
Among
things.
the lonesome.
I've been in many a courtroom. I've been involved in murder trials, selling abortion medicine, and he's the worst crime of the century is fucking ruining the man's good name.
A good name.
False allegations.
The reason they think he's not in the papers in England is because Scotland Yard don't want them knowing the people knowing. Yeah, our kind of number one suspect fled and he got away and we can't get to him.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he doesn't want the people knowing.
Yeah, they don't want. Yeah. So they're just kind of, which you'd believe, having done those episodes, the Jubilee plot and Melville and all that. They're like, yeah, they probably just. Yeah. So they think it was him, but John Littlechild, detector, chief inspector, and leader of the Special Irish Branch of Scotland Yard. Yeah, another crossover with Melville. Mm-hmm. He wrote a letter to a journalist in 1913. This is years and years after, stating that Tumblety was
I understand how 1913 works, so thank you.
Well, it's just no. This is like year, like I think it's after.
But the murder is 1888.
Yeah, around then. Yeah. But so there's a letter that was only found a couple of years ago in like a pawn shop in London.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Littlechild telling some journalist that he was very likely Jack the Ripper. Or he was his number. He liked him for it.
Yeah. I love that phrase. I've said that before in this podcast. Who do you like for it? Which is just like,
But it's probably, but it is Tumblety, and he has some reasons for it. Now, he had about 15 reasons. Yeah. I've taken some of the main ones.
Hates women.
Bad marriage to a prostitute. All the Jack the Ripper murders, prostitutes. Or a lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
I had to do a little bit of Jack the Ripper research, and we're going to have a Patreon episode of all the Irish links. Because some of the women were Irish. Oh, yeah. Some of the suspects, different... Was it the same? We did it in the Phoenix Park murders, that the same knife used to kill your man was Cavendish. Was from the same shop or same make as the Ripper murder.
I remember that.
The marriage to a prostitute, hates women, collects female body parts. Number 2... was in London and lived in Whitechapel at the time.
Yep.
Number 3 was known to use aliases, ran away from the law. Yeah. Has a lot of court cases hanging over his head.
Sure.
Did you ever hear of the Batty Street Lodger?
No.
That's some woman on Batty Street in Whitechapel said that she had a lodger who's well dressed, of wealth, probably foreign born because he sounded weird, had a mustache, was possibly a doctor, and would go for late night walks that matched the dates of the murders. Plus, it was 3 doors down from one of the murders, which is shitting where you eat.
Yeah, true.
Or sleep.
Just getting lazy.
Yeah.
I never really got into the Jack the Ripper lore, but it is. Yeah, so it was the JFK of its time. I don't know. Maybe you said the Batty Street. It's like the fucking. The way I kind of there's a Bruda film or the Three Tramps mean something to me because I've spent too much time reading about that. But never really, there's the Batty Street Lodger. Yeah. So how many people did he murder all in? 7?
If you're going canonically, which always about 5.
Right.
Yeah, 5 or 6, something like that. But then there's probably links to another up to about 15. Okay. But they think that that's done in different ways, and who knows? So it could be as high as that, but that also just could be other lads murdering people. Yeah. Because it was the style at the time. Mm-hmm. Probably easier to get away with it too, as Tumblety is proof.
Definitely.
But number 5 on the list.
Of reasons.
Yeah. He was Irish. Now, that letter only.
As I was going to say, it was like, who do you like for? I was like, well, we can't prove it, but I really, really want it to be this minority.
Now that was maybe something I wrote down for a joke, and it wasn't in his actual list. But who knows? It could have been the list, and they just scrubbed that off.
Well, yeah, because he's on the Special Irish Branch.
Yeah.
So obviously,
it makes sense. And now that the letter, that letter only came out in 1993.
Okay.
Yeah. So all these years went by and no one ever really mentioned. Like, if you went on a Jack the Ripper tour in 1992, there's going to be no reference to Francis Tumblety, even though he was like very much so one of the main suspects.
Mad.
And not any of the documentaries or anything else, they were like, okay, now we can finally admit it. It's like, yeah, it's probably him.
Amazing.
Yeah, but also a lot of people say ripperologists, which is a word I learned when I was
Yeah.
It's like, was it Bieber? No, what's Bieber?
You were a ripperologist in college.
You said it's a fart joke.
No, I don't know. It just sounds.
But some people said his mustache was too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be Jack the Ripper, because people didn't.
What
They
if it was-
would have noticed that? Because a lot of people saw they would have
If
seen a
it
man
was
with
fake, he just put a bigger one onto his regular mustache. That's his Kaiser Soze moment as he like flees the scene. He's just putting on a giant mustache over his mustache.
Some of those fake French ones. That
Yeah,
twirled
yeah.
out.
My name's Francis Townsend.
But speaking of antiques, go watch that Pawn Stars video
Oh yeah,
now,
yeah.
and I'll cut.
Amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been wearing that hat.
No, I
That is
assume
from the 1800s.
Yeah, I assume all those are props that when that at that point.
And the gun probably as well.
Probably, yeah. They
Think
wouldn't be
this-
allowed. But it was edited together like one of our shows where he's just like there's lots of different angles and you could hear him. And then he left. And so yeah, they're just like cutting off the end of sentences so he didn't like he obviously said he left the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and then he left and was back in England and just jumping between bits. But how can he be expected to remember all this stuff?
Yeah. Well, even that's like, because as they cut to him and he's like, I'll tell you what I know about Tumblety. It's like stuff that the guy would have found out if he just Googled it.
Yeah, the guy is like been carrying this thing around the whole time. Because no, he said he found it. So he recognized what it was and bought it and brought it to this guy. And he's like, yeah, I used to keep uteruses in a jar. He's like, oh, foo. Oh, come on. Ugh.
Mattresses is seemingly, because I called them uteruses, uteri earlier on.
Yeah.
That was in brackets when I was reading it. It's like matrices, I don't know.
Mattresses.
Ask a doctor.
Yeah, so.
Mattress rip.
Yeah.
Or
Mattress. Yeah. Okay.
but after
What about mattress Michelangelo? And he just mattress Mick was one of the turtles.
Are you going to make some kind of this? It was Michelangelo did the Sixtine Chapel.
The Sistine Chapel,
yeah.
yeah. He did the 16 Chapel.
Yeah.
You know how many chapels are in the Vatican? 16.
Well, it's just the one of it.
At least.
I'm gonna get. I was just there the other week. I'm gonna get it wrong, but it's the one where they're touching the main one in the 16th chapel. It's just that instead of clouds, it's just mattresses from Wicklow.
Yeah.
No,
This is the creation of Adam. The creation of a damn good deal of mattresses. Where is he right now? I've got a fucking business pitch for him.
you know where we are on the last page of this.
No way.
So we might as well. Is it the
Yeah.
last? It is. It's the last couple of paragraphs. We might as well. We'll barrel on through.
Yeah.
That. So I said earlier on that he was too tall. He was 5'10", so I didn't think he was.
Oh yeah. Why would that matter?
Because a lot of the people would have seen whoever the Jack the Ripper was with the women that he killed beforehand, but sure, they wouldn't. They were just like, it's just another lad.
Just another John in a dirty old town.
But seemingly mustache, possible.
Okay.
Just not that big and not too tall.
Yeah.
Just 5'10". That's a very tall man.
That's very abnormally tall.
A giant. Some might say.
Noteworthily tall. You remember that. You walk into a room and see a 5'10" man, you're like, I feel sorry for him.
God damn, how does he fit indoors?
Does he live day to day?
But yes, he didn't fit the perfect description, but also people had different descriptions. And yeah. But yeah, once all that came out, he did flee London.
Yeah, but he flees everywhere.
That's true. You can't hold a man against that.
No.
Yeah. But a few years after this, Tumblety he published his last biography.
Okay.
Because he surfaces again after he was at one point arrested for a vicious assault of a man trying to steal his jewelry. Before popping up in, I think that's not Vegas. It's somewhere in America. But he popped up.
I don't think Vegas existed then.
The mob existed all the time. Maybe not.
In Nevada desert. No.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, so a few years pass and Tumblety, he publishes his last biography. I don't have the name of that. Wish it did.
Yeah.
But he's living for a bit in New York in Rochester with an elderly relative. I told you about the vicious assault because some lad was trying to steal his jewelry, which is that's pretty cool. Also, it makes it sound like he had like rings on. He like pimp slapped him.
Of course.
But he died in St. Louis in 1903 of heart disease, or as it was commonly known at the time, syphilis. And his body was sent back.
It's always the good ones.
It isn't it?
Yeah.
But his body was sent back to Rochester, to the family plot, was put down there. But while he was in hospital, he used an alias, Frank Townsend, which is the one he'd used. Yeah. That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
He left behind an estate.
While he was in hospital.
In hospital, yeah.
Just why?
Just why not?
I guess, yeah.
But he also did have...
Have you got medical insurance? I don't know, maybe. My name's Frank Townsend.
Insurance. I don't need insurance. I've got these magic pills. In any case, Tumblety.
Yeah.
While he was in hospital, there's reports of chatting to a priest and a lawyer who were both sworn to secrecy before he passed.
He
So
said,
who knows?
I did it all.
Who knows what that was about? But he left behind...
Well, no, that's pretty common. If you're dying,
Well, yeah.
talk to a priest and a lawyer.
Well, the lawyer, yeah, for the wills.
Was it? Wait, did he do both?
He did got them both.
No, that's pretty... No, but I mean, was it one person did both of them?
That would be a great way to make extra money. That's like
Father Patrick Goldstein.
and he's driving an Uber as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he leaves behind 1.5 million of an estate in modern money.
Fuck.
Yeah, so...
oh, wait.
Yeah, that's still good money.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. But with numerous wills being wrote over the years of different amounts left to different people, so like the church, relatives, charities, they had to pick one, and the one that they went with left the church out of pocket for 90% of what they thought they were getting.
Church won't like that.
No. Ooh, Tumblety.
They had a 17 chapel they wanted to build in the Vatican. How's that going to get done?
Oh, shut up. Remember when he was beating the shite out of that guy for trying to rob his jewellery?
Yeah.
It seemed a bit odd as he was loaded.
Sure. Well, no, hey, what are you fucking...
Don't get rich by giving it away.
Exactly.
But he did have a lot of jewellery, so much so that after his death, they found gold rings, necklaces, bracelets, a heap of fancy trinkets. Any man of that wealth would be buying. Also, 2 very cheap brass rings. All the other stuff, like individually, they're worth hundreds each.
Yeah.
This is worth like pennies or a pound. And just so happens to match the rings that were taken off the Jack the Ripper women.
Yes.
So who knows? It's left up in the air.
I love it.
Yeah, that's Tumblety.
Yeah. So he definitely did it.
He almost definitely did it.
Damn.
Yeah, and we just didn't know that because the British didn't want to give credit to an Irishman.
Okay.
Yeah. But then we will do all the extra Irish people involved in
that.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
That's for the Patreon.
That's good. I'm very, very easily swayed whenever someone like presents evidence and is like, that's the evidence, and doesn't give me any contrary stuff. I'm 100% convinced of this now.
Now, I could have done this over the space of about 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Could have just dripped it out bit by bit and only could have brought in the Jack the Ripper thing at the end and then said, now wait for season 2.
Yeah.
But I'm lazy enough time for that. But that's our first test episode.
It's all done.
Yeah. This is the new... We'll have more lights. We'll have better audio. It's probably fairly
chairs
echoey.
that
move.
make less sound.
Yeah. Better cameras and
Yeah.
stuff. Angles.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
The cat.
The cat. What? It's all ahead of us.
It's all ahead of us. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I was going to say same time, same channel. All that. Say that's not going to happen.
Imagine if we
It'll be-
released episodes on the same day.
Yeah, we did what for one season. We tried that,
Yeah.
and then just no.
No.
But cheers for everyone who watched or listened. Only losers are listening now. We've got video.
Yeah. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Shafter.
Good luck.